Hello, everybody. Welcome aboard. It is your host and conductor on this wild ride. It is I, Demetrius Villa, your conductor. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Arc Lounge. This one's going to be a bit of a short one today, and I don't expect that many people to be on here. It was kind of at short notice since I put this up, because I was thinking, should I run one today or not? It's been a bit, but you know what? Let's go ahead and just do it and make it a short one. Not too many people on today, but no worries. Let's go ahead and get the Discord chat going on over here. This probably may be the smallest stream we do, and I'll try to keep it maybe to an hour or so. Again, I'm not feeling too well for it, but I said, you know what? Let's just go ahead and do it. Let's wing it. Let's talk about some stuff over here anyway. By the way, don't mind the glove on the hand. I got myself nicked over here, so I have a band-aid on my hand that I'm trying to keep on there. So it's like it keeps coming off, so I'm trying not to waste all my band-aids, you know. So I'm trying to keep that on there with this old airsoft glove. It's so old, look at it. It's like it's already like falling apart, so I use it for working out. But anyway, guys, let me go ahead and get the event started up over here on Discord. So again, if you guys want to go ahead and chat or talk about it, it's more of an open forum. We'll go ahead and start that up now, so we can go ahead and have everybody on there. Okay, there you go. Yeah, so while we're going ahead and waiting for that to populate, I guess, and again, I apologize, because usually we're at like 24 hours beforehand, and by the time I get here to the chat, I'm running down the list of everybody that's on here. Again, you know, we're just trying to, you know, just do things a little bit, just kind of on short notice, not trying to make a big pomp and circumstance about it today. Good afternoon, Adam. Hello, Rob. Yes, thank you for the hat. Yeah, I've had this hat for a bit. You can thank Holly for getting this hat. She really, again, so I always keep it with me. Let me see. We're now. Hello, how's it going, Mohammed? Yes, thank you for. Yeah, it's sort of a. It's weird, you know, because it's not like, you know, I was alive when that happened. I was at that age of reason where I understood where things were happening, and quite frankly, I do think that a lot of older adults are, you know, they kind of see it like if they were still 7 years old, you know. Obviously, I'm not going to get too much into the politics of, you know, 9/11 and all that sort of stuff, but you know, it's just it's kind of weird now that, you know, there are people who were not even born that day that can drink now, you know, that they weren't even born yet, or at least now in the coming days, you know. It's just kind of odd, you know, and that there are kids who are, you know, I mean, to me they're kids. I mean, I'm almost 20. I'll be 29 next month. Jeez, I'm getting old, guys. It will be almost 10 years that I've been doing this for the ARC stream. But anyway, while we're going at it, let's just go ahead and look at a couple things that I gathered online here, just to go ahead and see. Just two things, and then we'll go ahead and leave the floor to you guys. So as you guys know, I'm living in the state of Indiana, the Hoosier state. You know, the Midwest. So this, so you can compare when it comes to rail infrastructure and rail transportation. On the right, of course, is the state of Indiana. There's Indianapolis, okay, and this is the Hoosier or the Cardinal line. That's basically, or well, you have that, and the South Bend line as well, the South Shore line, connecting into Chicago, for a state that has a GDP of $420 billion, right? At least when this was recorded. 2022 and 2021. So this is quite recent. So $420 billion, right? GDP. This is basically all we have. And this is the Czech Republic, or Czechia. If you are from the Czech Republic, that's how you would call Czechia. So they have about half the GDP. Basically half the GDP as Indiana, but look at all the rail that they have. You know, the rail goes CZ over there. You guys, actually, let me see if I can find that hard bass tune while we're putting it on there. But this is the thing, guys, and again, I keep telling you guys this. It has nothing to do with the money, because the money keeps going away, right? I look kind of like with this jacket and this glove on. I kind of look like some like 80s rock star or something like that. Although I have been doing a little bit more guitar now recently, so I do got this now. Well, I've had this for years. Okay, I bought this when I was in Columbus at a place called Tom Pickett's. Okay, and that was actually the place where Mike Pence, love him or hate him, I don't like the guy at all anymore. But that guy actually taught Mike Pence how to play guitar. But yeah. Okay, I know I wasn't holding it right, but anyway, I'm not gonna play guitar right now. But that's that'll come for a little bit later. But anyway, guys, but this is the thing, you got this going on over here with how we have our rail policy here in the United States. Again, we're the richest country at the moment for everything that's going on. We're the richest country in the world that we have basically in a limited amount that we can get of capital, right? Because even the Federal Reserve has said that, we can just print the money, right? We can print the money, okay? But that's what it is. What does the freight railroad look like? Well, the freight railroad this is just, again, we're talking about passenger rail, obviously. The freight railroad, of course, is freight railroad all over the state of Indiana. It's the reason why it's called the crossroads of the United States is because of that. And I'm pretty sure in the Czech Republic or in Czechia they have a whole lot of rail too. But that's the thing, It's where are you going to put that money in, right? Here we go. Let's put this on here. All right, there we go. Okay, but that's the thing. They can have that, but this is what we're stuck with because again, it has nothing to do with the money. It has to do with the policy. Okay, and the same, more or less the same. Because actually, let's go ahead and look at that. Okay, let's look at the population. Population of Indiana and population of the Czech Republic, right? Okay. So if it comes up, okay, the population of Indiana is 6 million. Population of the Czech Republic is 10 million. 10.7 million versus 6.7 million. So again, it's not that big of a difference in terms of that. And there are places in the United States that are quite similar. So there we go, 6.7 million, right? 17th biggest state in the Union. And the Czech Republic has a population of 10.7. Okay? Again, the other issue is that in the United States, we have a problem when it comes to our density, right? We have completely changed the laws in order to favor suburbanization, to really disfavor mixed-use development, urbanization. The only thing that you get are these what they call the Texas or the Houston 5-story building, the ones that basically make out of wood. Let me see if I can get that up for you guys. I remember the term. They're like they call them like Houston apartments or something like that. And the thing is that the codes in the United States allow that you can make like basically 5-story buildings. Here we are. So there was something. This was a form out of city data. Yeah, something like that. The reason why most apartments are 5-story buildings, and basically these 5-story buildings, they all look like they're all 5 stories. And they all have giant parking garages, and you see them basically everywhere. These things, yeah, these are what I'm talking about. Okay, these monstrosities everywhere. Okay, this is a terrible form of mixed-use property. Okay, because they're made out of wood. I'm not joking. The frames are made out of wood. They're cheap to build up. They're not there for long-term use. They're there to go ahead and funnel out people, use them to go ahead and collect rent, and just they're using them like trading cards, right? They're basically Pokemon cards for realtors. Yeah, this is how they come up. This is it. I'm telling you, they're wood. It's wood. They're made. The framework is wood. Okay, this is the problem with this. Okay, All over the place, you see these all over. And we'll talk about these later. Because this deserves its own spot to talk about this. But yeah, this is the issue, guys. Again, it has nothing to do with the money. It's the policy. That's what it is. And speaking of policy, you know, when it comes to the United States and how we behave here when it comes to our transportation, this is another thing that really got to me. Okay, so I own my car outright, free and clear. You know how much I pay for my car? $0 a month. Okay, absolutely zero. Okay, but for most other people, you know, to really figure out a way to buy their car for $0, it doesn't even matter, right? Because my car, when I got it, was like $5,000. The issue is that in the United States, we have a very consumerist-heavy culture that wants to keep up with the Joneses instead of having a culture that is, you know, using what works, right? And this is something that's come up in the last generation or two in America. This really started in the baby boomer generation. This wasn't a thing before in the United States. It is not American culture. Okay, this is a new, very sick and twisted version of America that we're living in. All right, so let's look at this because some people have been talking about this. I've been meaning to talk about this for a bit. I was gonna make maybe a short about it, but you know what? I'll talk about it and then maybe I'll do like a short later. But this is insane. So this is at a car dealership. And they're asking, you know, each of their own workers how much they're paying for their cars.
Hey, sir, what is your car payment?
Mine is $1,325.
And what kind of vehicle is that?
It's a 22 Ford Raptor.
Okay. You have another payment?
I do, actually. My wife's, hers is $1,000. It's a 22 Ford Expedition.
Hey, ma'am, what is your car payment?
$1,386.
And what kind of car requires a $1,386 payment?
A 2022 Grand Wagoneer Series 3.
Perfect.
Of course it'd be a Jeep!
What is your
Car payment?
I got a couple of them, but the first one's $1,445.
What kind of car is that?
That's a new GMC Sierra 2500 Denali.
What's the other one?
It's a wide body CTSV. That's $1,161.
Nice payment. Hey, sir, what is your car payment?
Bro, what's your car payment? And what kind of car are you driving?
You know, honestly, I was about to make my car payment. I'll even show you. It's kind of funny, everybody's talking about high payments. Look at that number right there. That's my car payment.
Dang!
2021 wide-body Hellcat Charger.
2021 Hellbody Wildcat Charger, the Hellcat, okay, the Hellcat. Okay, and this guy is not, well, I guess he's Gen X, right? He's not that young, he's not that old. And I get a lot of, from a lot of younger guys, like millennials and Zoomers, basically complaining that we're never going to be able to afford these cars, right? Because the Dodge Challenger Hellcat, okay, here's a picture of it for you guys that are not familiar with what any sort of car. Because I know there are some of you guys here that, most of us here are pretty familiar with cars, right? We like all forms of transportation, right? I like cars. You know, I went to college to originally to design cars. Okay, this is your Hellcat Charger, right? If I can zoom out a little bit more so it fits in the OBS. There you are, right? Dodge Charger Hemi. It's like a 6-liter or 7-liter, 800 horsepower. The thing is a monster, right? This guy's paying $1,500 a month for basically a 2+2, right? Because nobody uses the 2 seats in the back. Okay, you're gonna be scrunched like this in the back, basically. You know, I've been in those cars. Okay, and I'm not that. I'm 5'9". I'm average height. Okay, I can barely fit in those in the back seat. Okay, heck, my Lexus is like smaller than these cars, and it has 4 full doors. Okay, the cars back then, like even 20 years ago, were a lot smaller than the cars now. Okay, they have completely ballooned in size, and this is the issue: is that people are paying a ridiculous amount of money for cars that they don't need, that are ridiculously expensive, so they can go ahead and turn them in later on when they don't even pass 100,000 miles. Get it in. The other guy had a GMC Sierra, okay? Big, massive truck. I guarantee you he never uses the flatbed. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Okay? We said about this before when we did our little video comparing, like, do we really need Tesla or electric cars, right? Because you can have the electric car, but it doesn't solve anything. As we've seen now in California, yeah, this is real life, guys. This is real life. This is America in 2022. September 11th, 2022. We are 21 years after the towers fell. And honestly, the country is, are we better off? That's the question we need to ask. Are we better off? Maybe, maybe not. That's something to think about, right? That's maybe up for debate. Are we headed in the right direction? That certainly isn't for debate. Its answer is a resounding no. It's not up for debate. This country is headed in the wrong direction. Now, obviously, last stream we talked about California and what they're doing with their high-speed rail project, okay, which has been going on for, it's been in construction for close to a decade at this point, and there are still no trains running. They still haven't even put in the rail. Now, granted, they have been fixing up and clearing out a lot of the corruption in there, as we've talked about, and they spent literally $666 million for the that they were giving out for companies. This is the problem. Okay, again, we have a limited amount of money basically at this point, which is not it's not going to be unlimited too much for any longer. Okay. Oh man, I got the glove. I'm telling you guys, the glove again. I have a Band-Aid on. I don't want to hear any more about the glove. Okay, it's that. You know, I'm just gonna wear a different glove if I can find one. I don't even know. I have a mechanics wear glove, but I don't know. Maybe that'll even look even worse. Whatever. Deal with it. Deal with the glove. I'm trying to make sure this thing doesn't get infected. I have to keep the Neosporin on there, but anyway. And it's been healing up, so that's it. Like, probably one more day with this on, I don't even have to have it. But this is the problem, okay? Because we could have we can have it. We can have it all. We can have the choices where if you want to have an electric car, fine. If you want to go ahead and have a $80,000, overinflated American muscle car in the year 2022, fine. If you want to have that, fine. But we can also have this, right? We can also have rail. We can have trains. There's no need to have it both ways. To not have it both ways, right? Okay, of course, the only way that we know that is because these companies, the big three, especially GM, has made a killing off of destroying America's privatized passenger rail system in order to go ahead and push for their cars. We know this because it's been documented. We know this. It's for there's been court cases. They were charged guilty in a conspiracy. The GMC. Streetcar conspiracy, along with Firestone, along with Standard Oil, okay, and the Rockefellers, all right, all those people. It's been the same people. It's been the same freaking people, okay. Speaking of same people, we'll talk about this maybe a little bit later. But again, this is insane. That we're paying this much, and it's like Stockholm syndrome. Not we specifically, right? This guy has a smile. He's got like this very pained smile on him that he's paying $1,500 for the big boy toy. Okay? He's gonna drive. Look, and it's the thing, you see these commercials, and it's like the same people who were buying the cars back in the 1960s and the 70s, the same muscle cars. They're the same people buying the muscle cars today. Right, they have the money, mostly the baby boomers, right? Because I barely see that many people in. Well, now there's been Chargers and Challengers that have been stolen left and right everywhere. That's been another thing going on. But anyway, I'm rambling, but that's what it is. But let's go and open it up so we can have other people jump on in here and ramble on, so it's not just me. David Mitchell, we'll go ahead and bring you back on board over here. Give me just a bit if I can go ahead and invite to speak. Okay. Hello, David. Welcome aboard. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, give me just a bit because I don't want any audio feedback. I should have done this before, but let me go ahead and put on my headphones. All right, there we go.
Oh boy, you know, I have some crazy stuff for you, and I sent it in the community right now.
I heard about what's going on with Norfolk Southern, the strike that's about to happen. That's another thing, guys. Our infrastructure is about to fall. You think you're seeing shortages now? Wait till the end of September. It's getting quite bad, very bad.
And not forget, I called this out. I called it out over a year ago. You remember?
Yeah, I do.
I called it out. I literally said a year ago that we're about to go through another Penn Central type of thing. You remember?
Yeah.
We're about to see another Penn Central repeat.
Yeah, and it's at a very bad time that we need in the economy and in this part of history right now. So let me just bring this real quick so you guys can see what if I can get it in here right. Okay, so what David Mitchell is referring to. So this came out very recently from Norfolk Southern in regards to the labor strikes that have been going on. So this is, September 9th, 2022. So this is just recent. This is just on Friday. Labor negotiations and service update. Although the rail industry has reached or is finalizing tentative agreements with 10 of the 12 unions involved in current negotiations, 2 holdouts have been unwilling to reach an agreement based on the recommendations of President Joe Biden's Presidential Emergency Board. As a result, Norfolk Southern must now begin to prepare the possibility of a strike at the conclusion of the current cooling off period on September 16th, this coming week. Most importantly, we must ensure that hazardous and other security-sensitive freight is properly secure so that it is not left stranded in the event of a sudden strike. We have begun communicating to our customers that we will temporarily halt certain types of shipments beginning tomorrow. This is tomorrow, guys, September 12th. So we're bringing in news that's going to be happening now. In addition to safely ramp down our network. Actually, no, this is I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, that's basically that was the end of that. I don't know if you have any of the rest of that or anything, but yeah, that's it. It's not gonna be pretty.
Heck, I hate to say it. After this, the government are going to start cracking down on the railroads after this. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of that, I have another development that happened in here in Charleston. That it gonna be rail served, but a lot of suburbanites are gonna be losing their houses, from this.
I mean, it's not good when people lose their houses, and is it their fault that the houses were built in places that there shouldn't be? No, but it's unfortunately this is the state of the country that we're in now, and
Yep.
Yeah, and it's the thing. People are gonna hurt either way. Unfortunately, instead of doing it the right way. Now it's like taking off, it's taking off an infected part. Like you could have taken off a toe, right? We had a chance to take off a toe. Now we're at the point that we're going to have to take off a leg to do reconstructive surgery at this point in terms of our country's infrastructure.
Like, look at the screenshot I just sent to the group. You see it?
Let me see if I can bring up this cord again. Okay.
It's talking about a new ship terminal that is going to be built here in my city, and it's going to be rail served, but it's going to go in an area that is fully suburbanized,
All right, got it. Yeah, and part of this is what happened recently with the shutdown of the port in Los Angeles. So people have been looking for more ports here on the eastern coast because, Miami has been going full speed ahead, but of course they have a limit. Every port has a limit, so a lot of ports has seen this as an opportunity. It's like, we can, have now more cruises coming in. We can start having more freight coming in, and that's what they're doing. So this is in South Carolina, right, Charleston?
Yeah.
Okay.
In an area called James Island.
Right.
In the area of Trump, it's called James Island, and the area, a suburban it's suburban sprawl. You know, all that car infested suburbia.
Right.
All of that. If you look at the area on Google Maps, it will amaze you at how much the area is, infested with car sprawl.
Oh, I won't be surprised.
Now here at Teen, when they do build it, they're actually going to be building a new railroad track. It will go from James to John into West Ashford, connecting up to the Charleston sub or the CSXA line. So there's going to be a whole new rail line being built for this,
Yeah.
And that will mean, because the new tracks are going to go in, a lot of suburban houses are going to get torn down. A lot of suburbia is going to get torn out.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's it. It's what it is. All right, I'm trying to find. Let's see if I can find James Island, right?
Yeah, James Island, South Carolina.
Okay, perfect. All right, I got the right place over here. So let me just go ahead and bring this up on satellite. Bring this up over here.
Like, you'll be amazed at how car infested this little island is. And then John's Island is even worse with car infested. And that only have 2 bridges on and off. Right.
Okay, so I'm trying to see where the port exactly is going to be here.
Be on Old Jackson. Hold on, let me check again.
I think it was Fort Johnson Road, right? Something like that?
Yeah, it's going to be towards the end of Old Fort Johnson Road. Is where it's going to be at.
Trying to compare and contrast over here at the same time. Okay, southward here, all right. So we're looking...
You're looking at a whole cluster of getting ready to happen with a lot of suburban night losing their homes,
Okay. Yeah, okay. I don't think it's this little inlet over here where Fort Johnson Road is. I'm thinking... Is it going to be near Let me see if I can take another look at that. But I'm looking at it now, and yeah, that's the thing. I'm trying to find where this port is going to be, and all I see along Fort Johnson Road is, like you said, it's a whole bunch of suburban homes.
Yeah, and it's towards the end of right how you get to the ocean,
Right.
Like the end where where you see all that little bit of small port and stuff at, that where it's going to go.
Right. Somewhere like and I see Fort Sumter over here. That's
it's going to be right. It's going to be right near Fort Sumter.
Okay, so
toward that end.
All right, so toward that end. Yeah, this is all yeah. And you can see it over here, like there's places we're seeing, and unfortunately, it's kind of sad because that the whole baby boomer generation has been retiring like crazy. So we've basically gotten rid of multi-generational housing here in the United States. It used to be very much like Europe because, well, basically most of the United States was populated from people from Europe, so they took a lot of those same practices over here. But in the United States, that completely changed to where seniors don't retire with their families. They want to go either off to their own places or have their own centers, or their families, because a lot of these baby boomers have mistreated their children. Just don't even their kids don't even care about them and throw them away in an old people house, and that's it's terrible both ways, right? So again, this is what I've said before. We've taken a toe that had an issue here in terms of speaking with this metaphor, right? Keeping with this analogy, this metaphor. We've had a toe with gangrene, and now we have a whole entire leg with gangrene. So it's going to hurt.
Now here at Teen, if you look right there where the James Island connector is, that would both be a whole new interstate that would both go all the way around the James and John's Island. Never got it completed. Never did.
Oh, man.
And they're still trying to push for it. They're trying to extend it, what it called 526. They're trying to extend that all the way around to John's and James Island. And my point is that instead of doing that, we should be doing commuter rail. Like, we got the capacity, we got it.
Yeah, the problem is, again, we've the whole country has been pushed so hard to be doing suburbanization rather than the right type. Because again, you want people. The thing is, you want people living in houses, right? It's that's a right to have, right? You have a right to have a place to live, okay? Now codifying it and stuff like that, that's a whole different thing. I'm not going to go into that, and it's definitely not coming from a liberal perspective here at all. Okay, the problem is that when you start making it to a point that instead of having houses as places to live, now you're having houses as speculative trading, right? Now, I'm going to buy this house because it's an investment, okay? Instead of buying it as a place to live, then that's where you start to have housing crashes, okay? Like we've had in 2008, which you've never recovered from, and we're going to have another one, like in the next, probably in the next month or a year or two at this rate.
Now, I do think we are on the tipping point where our generation is going to have enough of it and say F it and to want to tear all of this down. Yeah,
I think that's definitely something that's going to happen.
Because I do see, the millennial and the Zoomers, I am a Zoomer, let's be honest, because I was born in 1998. I guarantee for a fact, and this is something I know, is that our generation is going to have the tipping point where we're going to stand up and to get rid of all the heck. Even the people from the Netherlands, when told us we need to stop the suburbanization, they told us we need to tear it down.
Yeah.
The people from the Netherlands. And that right there, they was serious about, because, let's be honest, if you look at John's Island, where I used to live there all the way up until I was 10 years old, if you look at that island is so packed with suburbia and car-infested suburbs, it ain't even funny.
Yeah. And we've seen this. And again, this is an older article. We talked about this before. This came out on Forbes and a whole bunch of places. Millennials and Gen Z don't want to buy cars. We want other ways to get around, like the whole rest of the world has had for 200 years, basically, at this rate.
And here's the thing that makes it worse with John's Island, there are only two ways on and off that island, two bridges. Just imagine all that traffic coming from suburbia. Just imagine how bad that is. Yeah,
that's not good at all. All right, I'm going to see if I can... let's bring in some other people from the audience, too, to see if they want to opine in. I see there's Grand Trunk Railway fan and Brightline fan, so we'll bring them both on.
Bring in Brightline fan, because me and him have something we need to tell you that is funny.
All right.
Hey, Brightline fan, you doing good, bud?
I'll bring Grand Trunk Railway also afterwards.
Well, we were talking about... Well, I remember, David, that we were talking about the Class 1s yesterday.
Yep,
so,
on my life stream.
Yes. They haven't settled on an agreement. They haven't. And there's going to be a strike.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not getting good. I mean, the economy as a whole we've been going through massive hyperinflation because you have a massive amount of foreign investment that has been going in this country. We're just making dollars. Dollars are just leaving the country. Of course, you have what's going on in the European nation that shall not be named because of YouTube. You have what's going on here in this country and everything else. What else can we talk about? I mean, we've been ringing the bell at this point. While we're young, let it happen while we're young. Okay, that's all I'm asking for at this rate.
Let the world burn. Let the world burn.
It's what it is.
Oh God, I hope it does not happen.
I know, man, but that's the thing. We've been look. It's not that we don't want it to happen, right? We'd rather it doesn't happen, but unfortunately we've been putting in... We don't have power. That's the problem. We've put in... It's not like we haven't been putting in solutions, right? We've pushed for places. Now, some places are going to be better off than others, right? Places like Florida that have Brightline in terms of that. They already have at least a stepping stone to getting better transportation going forward. But when it comes to other sorts of options in other places. They've either been way too slow, like in California, or like in Texas. They basically more or less have killed the project because of the way that litigation happens in this country, and the red tape has basically killed a Texas Central Railway project. And I have been saying that I am going to bring a video out on that. I'm almost done with the script. I hopefully should be getting it out this week because work has just been crazy. But this is the thing. You know, we've tried. The previous generation does not want to let go. I was talking with somebody who's from California, and he says, like, you know, the worst example that we have of a politician is Dianne Feinstein. And then, like, you look up on Wikipedia, Dianne Feinstein, just like real quick, I'll just bring it up. Dianne Feinstein is 86 years old. Okay? She has been in Congress longer than I have been alive. And there's a black and white. Let me see if I can find it. What the heck just happened here? There's a black and white picture of her when she was mayor of San Francisco. So it's like these are the people that are still in power. It's the same freaking people that are still here. They don't want to let go of power. They don't. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem.
Nancy Pelosi is one of them too.
Yeah, that's another one. Again, the issue is that you have people here. So like she's been in California senator since 1992. Before she was, let me see. Again, there's a whole thing that she's got over here. It's just insane that these people have just been here for basically forever, and that's an issue. That's a problem. That shouldn't be allowed. Okay, and then of course the other problem. Okay, so Diane Goldman Berman Feinstein. Okay, born Diane Emile Goldman. Okay, is an American politician who serves as senior United States senator from California. A seat she's held since 1992. A member of the Democratic Party, she was mayor of San Francisco from 78 to 88. Okay, and this is the other thing that this guy was talking to too. Her spouse was a guy named Richard C. Blum. Okay, and Richard C. Blum was the chair of Blum Capital, an equity investment management firm. Okay, does that seem any way, any shape or form? Well, I mean, since we're talking about someone who's early life, I guess. Is this something that should be kosher in our country, right? Somebody who's married to a finance board or to a big investment banker, of course that's not going to be fair. Of course they're going to go ahead and lobby for their own stuff. And you can look at the controversy for that. You look at the management firm, right?
Mm-hmm. That's why we need term limits, though.
Term limits definitely has to be a thing, but you think this is the problem. You think senators, if your boss came up to you and said, "Hey, you want to vote on how long you should have your job?" That's their job to them. They're career politicians. They're not going to vote on canceling out their job. They're not going to do that. And look at this guy. This is insane. Let me see. I found it somewhere. I don't know if they just completely changed it up. There was something here about the controversy. I gotta find that now.
Oh, Dimitri, me and Brightline fan do gotta tell you something, and it's kind of ironic with flying cars.
Oh boy.
Whoa. Oh.
Yes, United's actually investing on flying cars right now.
Again?
Boy,
Again?
Yep.
Yep.
It's gonna be like the freaking Jetsons.
Yeah, we're not gonna. It's like that's never gonna happen.
I'm gonna bet that in 100 years, those flying cars aren't going to be on the sky.
They have it. They have an article, so I can put this up on here because this is pretty funny.
Because let's be honest, because if that happens, just imagine many 9/11s happening with cars.
I mean, it's less to do with that, and I know, like when I was in school and like 9/11 happened, of course, us kids, like we started making like that. There was no time between when the dark jokes happened and when things happen. Because again, for me, I was in first grade when that happened. Okay, so it's like we grew up just. Hey, the kids were fine. We grew up on 9/11 24/7 coverage. We came out okay, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember anything. I was 2 at the time.
Yeah, so
I
I think I'm the oldest guy here, so yeah, and that's the thing. It's, you know, with everything that's gone on, we're constantly inundated with this stuff because of the internet, because of television. Like for me, at least, I grew up first with television, and like I was like right in the middle between, you know, plugging in VHSs to DVDs, and then, you know, putting on Napster and LimeWire and stuff like that, because I ain't gonna pay for Netflix.
By the way, I was 8 months old when 9/11 happened.
Yeah, dude, you're making me feel old now.
But Dimitri, just imagine having flying cars just crashing into buildings left and right and blowing up.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean it's already bad that people can't even drive here in this country. So like, you know, now give them something to fly in.
And just imagine a flying car break down in midair and you have a car fall down in the sky and landing on someone's body, you know?
Yeah.
Get flattened by someone's car to break it down in midair and just fall right on you, you know?
Yeah. That's not good at all. Let me see if I can. And again, it's the problem is it's not the technology, right? Because we can have electric cars, but we still run into the same problem. Okay, it's still 4 doors, 5 seats. Oh, but it's electric. No, I mean it's you know, yeah, it'd be great if we had, you know, our own nuclear power or something like that. You know, our own self-sufficient source of electricity. But we don't even have that, you know, and we have, you know, coming in blackouts and brownouts around the country because during the summer over here, well, the whole neighborhood lost electricity, you know. So what are you gonna do, okay? At that point, and that's it. Look, it's not that I'm against electric cars. I've driven a Tesla. I like the thing. I think it's a fun car. But the fact of the matter is, it does not replace passenger rail transportation. It does not replace high capacity transportation. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and speaking of that Demo or Dimitri, here's something else. You remember when we talked about how hyperloop is vaporware?
Yeah.
Turns out
yes.
that Elon Musk knew that, and he would do it to make transit look bad on purpose, for more people can buy Tesla.
Well, I've heard that, but is that like confirmed that the hyperloop was just a troll by Elon Musk? Because if that was, I'm gonna completely laugh my ass off until the end of time here. If that.
Well, he actually admitted it on video. The video was taken down about a day ago, but he actually admitted it.
Okay, we gotta find the video then. We have to find that now because I'm gonna stop like every single other script I'm doing and just work on that and just gloat over it. Okay, and I need it. I need it, David. I need the Schadenfreude right now. I need it. I need that.
I tried looking for the video, but YouTube said it was taken down.
Yeah, that's the thing. I can't find anything on YouTube now because they've just been taking like stuff left and right. Like I've been trying to find like old videos to send to friends about stuff, and it's the whole algorithm is just it's purposely done that way. It's sickening.
Well, guess what? I know. Well, guess we'll have to find another platform then.
That's why I've been moving everything to Odyssey at least. So every time I do a video, once it's done, it gets uploaded to Odyssey. The only reason, again, that we're still on YouTube is that you still have the most amount of reach, and people understand that, which is why we're still on YouTube. Okay, but Odyssey is always there, as just in case. Like you screw with us, we're off. You know, we're just gonna actually. Well, they are screwing with us, right? YouTube has been screwing with everybody. So Odyssey is just there to the point that, you know, we're up to past our eyeballs with stuff that we're just gonna, you know, that becomes the main platform, if it does.
Well, by the way, we gotta trust bust Google. Hashtag trust bust.
Yeah, that's another thing. Again, this is what happens when you live in a corporatocratic cyberpunk dystopia of the United States.
And the funny thing is, Teddy Roosevelt tried to stop something like this from happening.
Yeah.
And he knew it could have happened, you know?
Yeah, I mean, look at Standard Oil, but that's the problem. The thing is that you can be able to have someone that gets into office and they can be able to vote in policies. But the problem in the United States, you can change that up really quickly. You know, they can be there for 4 years, they can be there for 8 years, and the minute they're gone, you can put in someone else and just change in. So, you know, like we've had in the last couple of years, it's been left, right, Republican, Democrat, Republican, Democrat, Republican, Democrat. When really it's become a uniparty system where you don't actually have anything that's conducive because the United States, the people of the United States, haven't benefited anything. We've only gotten poorer. We've gotten sicker. It just came out now that the average life expectancy in the United States has gone down for the second year in a row. So what have we gained?
No,
Excuse me, Mr. DM. It's yeah. Garage like a couple of weeks ago. It was been 2 days. 2 days. I had to stay overnight in a freaking hotel. This is a problem.
Oh yeah. But I'll be honest, what Elon Musk said, that was just super villain like. With him even admitting that what he did, that right there is beyond a supervillain.
Okay, so I think I at least found a tweet, so we're getting there. I haven't found the video, but I found a tweet that's basically saying this. Okay, so we have over here. Let me just move this over here to the side so we can still all see each other. Elon Musk admitted to his biographer that the reason the hyperloop was announced, even though he had no intention of pursuing it, was to try to disrupt the California high-speed rail project to get in the way this guy just writing it. He wrote though as in THO, so that really threw me off. The California high-speed rail project to get in the way of that actually succeeding. So this was a whole thing to just derail the California high-speed rail project.
In other words, this must be a plaything.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I never, because in the last year or two, everybody on the right, everybody who was still on the MAGA train, because I've gotten off that MAGA train years ago. It wasn't gonna do much of anything, you know. It sucks, and I will admit, I'll be one to admit, we fell for it. Okay, I fell for it. A lot of other people fell for it, just like a lot of other people fell for Obama and fell for a lot of any other politician. No politician is gonna fix it. Okay, so now the next grift has been Elon Musk. Oh, Elon Musk is gonna buy Twitter or whatever. He's the same thing. And this right now. I'm just gonna at least do a little bit of Schadenfreude celebration. I got this pumpkin spice apple cider. There's no alcohol, but I'm gonna pop this. I was right.
You were, Dimitri, and I knew it too. By the way, the electric car is not going to save her behind.
No,
right?
No, that's where is it? Where's the? Here we are. The little, what is this? The little Honda generator? It's powered by Honda. the dreams of tomorrow. Powering Tesla. Tesla powered by Honda.
Good commercial. Good commercial.
Speaking about electric cars,
that's a good one. I gotta do that now. I gotta make a little short. It's Tesla powered by Honda. The power of dreams. I am writing that down. That is my idea. I am writing that down right now. I'm gonna work on that this week.
Oh, Demetrius, do you have a Reddit account?
I had a Reddit account. I don't even remember. I don't like admitting it. Okay, I was only on there for the 2016 election, and then I just got off, and then I used it for a couple other things. But I mean, I know we have an American Rail Club subreddit that I just started just to claim it, in case somebody claimed it and say American Rail Club hate or whatever, some sort of a log about American Rail Club, which at that point, if somebody hates me, even better, at least that means we're doing something right? As the quote goes, if you're not hated, it means you're doing something wrong.
Yeah. Well, speaking of electric cars. California is trying to ban gasoline-powered cars.
Yeah, I heard about 2035 they want to ban all the sale of gasoline cars.
That's a stupid move by Gavin Newsom. I'm telling you.
And it's like, look, it's like I get what he's trying to do, but that's the wrong way of doing it. You know, again the Teslas, and we've gone over this in the video, which I'm kind of surprised. I may try to repost it again or something. Not repost it, but at least like put it out there again, or maybe the algorithm, the YouTube demons will pick up the. I don't even call them the YouTube gods, or the YouTube demons. The YouTube algorithm demons will pick up the Tesla versus train video, and maybe that will come up. But regardless, the thing is that again, it's still a car. It still has 4 wheels. It still has, a 7 foot length wheelbase or whatever. It still runs the same way. You have 5 seats in there most of the time. 80% of the time, when everybody drives a car in the United States, it's usually just one person in a car. Okay, so it's a complete and absolute waste. It's not efficient. It's not efficient.
Oh, Demetrius, you remember Alan Fisher video on why electric cars suck?
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yep. Oh my god, that was a good video because it explains a lot. Also, reason why I asked you for a Reddit is because there's a Reddit page called r/f car.
Okay, I get that.
I'm freaking out because it's a r/you-know-what. Car.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, absolutely. I completely get that.
One of the downsides of the electric car is actually our infrastructure, because we don't have enough infrastructure to charge our electric vehicles.
Right, which was why that big infrastructure bill that just passed, there's more money and funding to make the infrastructure for electric cars rather than the funding that has gone for passenger rail systems. And if you look at Tesla, look, I'll give them credit where credit is due. At least they built their own supercharging stations, right? GM is basically asking the government to build them their supercharger stations, or to the point that, Elon Musk is now willing to go ahead and let other cars use their proprietary charging system with sort of an adapter for a fee. Which, he owns the electricity coming out of there, which was a smart move by him. And he did that on purpose. That's what I said. Like, it wasn't the electric cars that was really the big deal. It's the electric charging infrastructure that is the big part of Tesla. Because they own all those little stations, all the stations where where Bubba gets upset and puts his truck in front of there, his big giant truck in front to block the cars. It doesn't matter. It's still the same problem as the trucks. The trucks, the cars, whatever. There's too many. There's too many, and it's to go from one place to another, to get groceries. I have to get in my car and drive 1.5 miles to go somewhere, rather than in other places like in any place that makes sense infrastructurally, right? In Japan, when I was staying in Japan, all I had to do was just go downstairs, walk across the street to the Lawson's or 7-Eleven, because they were basically both next to each other, get some food, and come back in. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's all I had to do. And Europe, the same thing. Okay, now if I live in a rural area, that's perfectly fine. If I choose to live in a rural area, for anybody who chooses to live in a rural area, that's fine. That's when the car makes sense. It does not make sense in a large, sprawling... It makes sense in a large sprawling, because that's the only thing that works in a large, sprawling infrastructure. But that's the problem. That's the thing, that because we planned our cities out to be these large, sprawling, mega structures of just absolute glop that does nothing to really help people. Okay, it makes no sense, and I think somebody put this up somewhere on the Discord. How does this make sense in life that you go ahead to go to work, to pay for the car, to go to your job? Okay, so your job can pay for all that infrastructure and taxes to come back home, and to pay for the house that's an hour away from work to keep that. That's slavery in a sense. You're indebted, enslaved to the system.
I know, and Dimitri, go to the meme in Discord. Go to the meme team because I posted stuff in Discord that you're gonna laugh at.
All right. Is it on the memes area?
Yep.
Okay. That is hilarious. Thomas had never seen such a mess.
I can see that.
Oh man. When the Florida man is making fun of California, you know your state is doing something wrong.
Oh, by the way, have you seen the meme above that? What people look like how actually looks like.
Yeah. There we are. That's another one. I mean, our whole channel is like basically like half the time we're just like hating on car infrastructure, but it's true. It's like, you know, we can't. We need, in order to build something, we need to move something out of the way, and this has to go. This has to stop. It's time to stop. Wait. Let me get my clock over here. Hold on a second.
Hold on. Val in the room. I want her to get it. Val.
It's time to stop. It's time to stop.
What? You know.
No more.
I don't know what to talk about. It's time to stop me. Sorry. Not now.
And somebody tell Filthy Frank that his singing career just needs to end and just come back to being Filthy Frank. We missed that. We need that. We need that now. We need the laughs.
I know. Oh, speaking of that, you remember the Wall Street meme of what Wall Street is actually doing to the railroad?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I haven't seen that one.
Are you serious? I posted that about a month to 2 months ago. Go in the American Rail Club.
Dude, you know I'm barely on the. You know, I see this incel car enthusiast compass though. That's definitely. Yeah, I'm definitely on the far upper right over here.
Yeah, but
actually no, there's my car. There we go. There's my Lexus. Yeah, we with the criminal record. Actually, I have 2 speeding tickets, but that's about it. Which funny enough for the especially the absolute insanity that I was doing back in South Florida. I'm just like lucky that I've just done that, and just thank God, like, you know, I haven't like killed myself or anything like that. There's my Lexus. There it is, the IS300. There it is. There I am.
Take the freeway, they said. You'll get there faster, they said.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Oh man.
You're not going anywhere on the freeway. Is this a free talk thing?
Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's a lounge. That's what we have. This is the Arc Lounge. So there's no.
I'm going to talk to CNNW. He's actually commenting.
Okay. Oh, let's bring him on here. We'll just go ahead and invite everybody to speak. So.
Yeah, let's bring him in.
Again, yeah. Anybody who wants to just come on in, you know, go ahead and talk. I'll leave the floor to you guys for a bit. Let me just at least get some drinks in here going or something.
Oh. Yeah, but Dimitri, it's funny as hell, you know what I mean?
Electric cars will not replace gas cars, period. Not until we get some sufficient source that will keep them powered.
Based in red pill take there, my friend.
Mm-hmm. So true.
Yeah, it is actually true.
California is going to take back that ban so quickly.
Oh, yeah.
I could hear the NIMBYs crying. That's a stupid move.
Mm-hmm. The NIMBYs are going to cry their asses off.
And like the problem is like, you know, how is this going to be enforced at the end of this? Because 2035, again, we've talked about how long these things take. Okay, we're talking about 12 years from now, right? 12 years from now. At that point, let's even give it 5 years. Okay, with the incoming economic depression that is about to happen, okay? Because people say, oh, it's not a recession. No, it's not a recession. It's a depression. We're in a depression, guys. So with that,
Depression Part 2.
yeah,
Depression Part
with
2.
this absolute calamity about to transcend upon us, you think that in 5 years that law is still going to be still on the books? You think, even if it if you have another governor, because even if it's still another Democratic governor, you have enough pitchforks going off, and not like actual pitchforks in Minecraft, right? You know, I'm gonna be like like Sam Hyde. No, in real life, son Piker, I'm coming for you. That was hilarious. But anyway, if you have enough people getting ticked off, a Democrat governor will definitely get rid of that law, or the Senate themselves will go ahead and repeal the law. It's nonsense. The problem is you cannot just go ahead and just skip all the steps, like that meme of like the kid just like jumping over like 5 different steps. You cannot do that until you establish a different infrastructure for people to make a choice. That's the thing. You want people to have choices. You want people to go in that direction. You want people to have electric cars. Fine. Make it to a point
That's an option. They won't replace it. It's
make it an option.
That's out there.
Okay, but no, most people cannot afford a $35,000 car, and if they do, well, they're going to be paying, $15,000 a month with this pained smile on. Look at this guy's face. Look at him. You can see the pain on his face that he admits that he's paying $15,000 a month for his little his boy toy here. Okay, look, and I love cars. I love my little 8.6 that I got from Japan over here. Like, you know that, and I gotta find my little Lexus though. Yeah, I am a weeb. Whatever, I don't care. But regardless, it's the thing. You don't have to. You don't have to pay that. That's the thing. We're giving you the choice. You don't have to. You don't have to. We're giving you a hand, guys. We're giving America a hand here. It's like come back to tradition. Return to tradition. Return to the train.
Exactly. And most people don't do that.
It's what it is.
Yes. Some people are going to get offended because, that train is communist. Come on.
No, the car is communist.
No. The car is what brought us here. The train was helpful when you get around places, but when you're in rural areas, again, car is an option to get around places.
Yeah, look at this.
Farmers
Okay.
need car. Farmers use trucks.
Here you go. Does this look communist to you? Look at this. Look at this. Does this look communist? No. But let me see. Where's the meme again? Because now I have a billion tabs. You guys are gonna kill my computer with tabs over here. If by any chance the stream goes out, it's all you guys' fault.
Oh.
But anyway, I'll start closing tabs. But yeah, there we go. There we go. You can feel the breath of Joseph Stalin and Karl Marx breathing down your neck as you're careening down the highway at a max speed of 2 miles an hour, just stuck there in endless hell and heat. You know, why?
In 2035, the highway is going to be empty.
Well, I don't think we're we're talking about end of the world situation.
The highway 201 is not going to be very full of traffic.
Like I Am Legend. Well, that's fine. I mean, if there's deer on the highway, I mean, I got enough ammo for to hunt deer and stuff on the highway. That make it easier. There you go, clear shot. I don't have to worry about any brush or anything in the way. Nobody that comes out with their blaze orange stuff. I just got there we go, boom, just free deer.
Oh, Dimitri, look what I put in memes. Look what I put in memes.
Alright, just start taking off some of the tabs over here.
What Wall Street is actually doing, yeah, I can't agree with that one. Because Mason City had a derailment, UP derailment. What can we blame?
Yeah, and that's the thing, people think that, the people in power, and I was listening to a good live stream last night, but...
I love that California.
But the thing is that they basically admit that they can get away with anything, and they play by a different set of rules. So, to what extent that we're just going to keep playing by the same rules to keep these people doing this sort of stuff? Because half the time they don't even know what they're doing. I mean, look at what happened with the whole GameStop fiasco, the GameStop stocks fiasco, right? Okay, people found out that
I like that new meme you posted there. Oh, that's a great meme, David.
Yeah, this is becoming the meme stream at this point. We're gonna call the lounge the meme stream.
You know what? That's what's gonna probably happen here in Des Moines because they're not really invested. They're only gonna get bus services. But wait, the bus service actually sucks here.
Okay, this is actually funny. The Wojak one.
No full circuit.
Okay. Here you go for guys listening. Point of view: it's 2056 and your Tesla autonomous flying pod is stuck in aerial traffic jam because your city would do anything but invest in public transit. That's absolutely true.
I
see what's happening here.
I'll be honest, I just came in like a child with that one. Am I right?
Yeah.
I think...
Now someone has mentioned about wind turbine. Imagine this: if you're in a flying car in a wind turbine, right? Imagine you've charged your car and all of a sudden, like your flying Tesla, like autonomously goes off and just like has a glitch, like Cyberpunk 27 type of glitch, and just goes into a wind turbine. And you're just completely, you're just done for.
I will tell you a little secret. Those wind turbines actually sometimes those wind turbines are slow or not even moving.
There's a whole bunch, over here in Indiana. It's cool to see for a little bit, but when you it costs more money and it takes more energy to put these things up. And then by the time you get it up,
like this one.
the amount.
Just a few years ago, people actually sued Mid-American because those things apparently made some sort of noise.
Yeah, there's
disturbing them, and the people complained about them, and now they wrote a lawsuit about it.
Yeah, it's a high frequency sort of noise from the grinding of the motors that it really does. The pitch of it just really messes up your head and a lot of other animals too.
That is what they wrote a lawsuit about.
Yeah.
It happened a few years ago.
Worst of all, they're not recyclable, which is the other thing.
Yeah,
If they get struck by lightning, they're gonna fall down in flame.
Oh yeah, that's already happened. And look, it's okay. Like wind turbines are probably actually the most low IQ tier of terms of renewable energy, or if you want to call it, right?
Work, but they're not sustainable. When it's super windy outside, they're gonna work.
Yeah. Now, solar energy makes more sense if you have for your own house. Like you have your own solar panel in your house, you built it there and whatever.
Tons of those.
That works.
Definitely in hot places, we're gonna have a lot of power.
Yeah, but again, when you make a whole bunch of them, there's places that you have whole places in the desert, like in Nevada and places like that you can see on Google Maps that are completely covered with solar panels. Again, the problem with that is you run into the same issue. The amount of space needed to make the same amount of power that for 1/50th of the size a nuclear power plant can do, it's silly. Okay?
I don't trust nuclear power, sadly.
I understand. Look, and I know most people that are skeptical of nuclear power like the same thing. And I used to be skeptical of nuclear power until you start thinking of it and saying, wait a second, there's a big giant nuclear reactor up in the sky, and look, and that's the thing. It's we can use that for actual purposes. You look at, and I've made this point before. France has the cleanest air in Europe. They don't have any. Well, now they're starting to go back fully onto nuclear power. They were the last country in Europe to have fully electric. 80% of their electricity is from electric power. Their TGV system, all the electricity in Paris. Yeah, that was all nuclear powered. Now, Germany went full speed ahead of saying, we're going to go full, we're decommissioning every single nuclear power plant, and now with everything going on between Russia cutting off their gas supply, now they're scrambling back to see if they can do whatever to put on their nuclear power plants. And France was basically just kind of biding their time because they knew this was going to happen. So they were very slowly taking down nuclear power plants because everybody else was reeing and just kvetching about, France is won't take down the nuclear power. So they went ahead and just started slowly doing it. And now with this going on with Russia, they're like, that's just too bad. We're going to have to restart, all our nuclear power plants that we decommissioned.
My general fear is this is Chernobyl. Because accidents happen, right?
Right, but
if something goes wrong, you're gonna. If it's near a city, that city becomes no man's land.
But again, what happened with Chernobyl was basically you had Soviet, your Soviet engineering, which basically you want to talk about corruption. That's a whole other level. The thing that killed the people in Chernobyl was not the nuclear radiation, but it was the meltdown of the mass amount of heat from. Because basically, what a nuclear power plant is it's steam power. At the end of the day, right? It's steam power. You're basically putting a massive nuclear reactor to heat up water and create steam in order to push a turbine to create electricity. Okay, so that's what killed and you can go and walk in Chernobyl, and you can be more or less okay. Now the problem is, of course, because that nuclear radiation has seeped into the water, which has seeped into the area over there. That's what's created the problem. Now, again, it's the same thing with the safety. Okay, turbines definitely have their thing when it comes to safety, but nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody bats an eye. Okay, but when it comes to nuclear power, there's definitely a way that you can make nuclear power safer so you don't have those sorts of things happen. Okay, which they have been able to do that. Okay, but again, and there's more people that are dying from the inhalation of pollution from coal power plants that you have in a lot of places around the United States.
There's one in Ames, but I don't know. But that's all I know from locations.
Yeah, and I think nuclear power kind of deserves its own episode, or at least something to talk about, so people can at least.
We need to probably.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Oh, Dimitri, go back into memes. I did post another meme.
David, you and the memes, man.
Hey, well, I am the judge tonight.
Okay, I see this one.
The United States has so much corridor, high-speed rail.
The United States has no such corridors. High-speed rail is an obsolete technology because it requires expensive and dedicated infrastructure. It will serve no purpose other than moving passengers who could move economically but travel by highway or air. The carbon dioxide write this. Yeah, it's true. And look, I've done it. Yeah,
if you're on an airplane and if that pilot, you could just if you fall to the ground, you're dead.
Right, and look, and like when we talk about Japan, right, and the Japanese Shinkansen, we're talking about like the safest system. They've look,
I like that.
9 billion people, more than the population of the entire planet, moved on that system. Nobody dead from an accident on that. That's I can't think of anything else that has that level of safety. Okay. Now, zero. Now, of course, with the earthquakes, they do derail, but they have the railway the earthquake detection systems that once they detect tremors in the earth electronically, it sends to the different beacons, and then it gets to the trains and then slows them down as quickly and as safely as possible. Because you can't all of a sudden slow down a 200-mile-an-hour train like that. It has to come down. So
everybody forward.
Right. So you can be able to figure out that an earthquake is coming within 2 to 5 minutes. So within 2 to 5 minutes, you can bring the train to a stop, to a complete, very safely to a stop. Now, there have been, like what happened in 2011 in Sendai and what happened very recently with the recent earthquake, that you've had the trains get, pushed off the rail and, jolted off. But nobody got hurt. So that's the main difference.
Mm-hmm.
How many we have? 40,000, more than 40,000 people die each year in the United States due to the automobile. That's more than guns. But you don't see the mass amount. You don't see people talking about banning cars. Again, the whole thing is not to ban cars. The thing is to give people the option of using something else. You guys know I'm definitely not a guy that wants to ban guns. I'm very pro Second Amendment. Despite whatever a piece of paper tells me, you can't tell me that I can't defend myself. I don't care. That's a God-given right. So whatever. But the point is that you can have a car. The problem is we want people to have a choice that you don't have to have a car.
And that was going to come down to Amtrak in the freight railroads allowing Amtrak.
Right, and again, at least Amtrak has now. And have you guys seen the new Am fleets? Because now there's a whole bunch of railroad YouTubers, and people have asked me, it's like, oh, why aren't you, riding on, trains again and like doing stuff? You could do these videos better than everybody else, and I really hate the YouTube trend that has been for the last 500 or like at least 5 years with the soy boy face in front of a train or in front of some sort of object. It's just, and pointing to something. I completely hate that face. And if my face and everything, if like I'm looking at something, like I'll point at it and just like smile. I'm not gonna go ahead and be like the soy boy face. But
Oh no.
yeah, and you guys know which channels I'm talking about. And like just stop the soy boy face. But anyway, the thing is that like I would go on these trains and back again and go back on Amtrak and that was something that I was planning with Holly. Unfortunately, you guys know what happened, and I'm still getting my stuff in order. I may be thinking maybe sometime in the next several months when I get things in order, maybe I'll take a trip to Chicago and maybe back. I don't want to get off of Union Station now, especially with the new laws going on in Illinois, and I'm basically I can't carry a gun into Illinois, so it's like well, too bad. Bye. I'll just stick it.
Wait, did you see there's this video that's out there. A guy has a lot of guns, and the police officer pulls him over. He's like, "Is that it?" And he pulls out another gun.
No, I got more.
And he gets to the end, he's like, "You do know the California state border is just over there." And then he runs for the Nevada, runs for it.
Oh man.
Any gun imaginable, it was in that.
Yeah, but it's just it's sad. It really is. What's gone on?
Oh, Dimitri, I put another meme in the memes.
All right, last meme.
CSX.
Read it.
Okay. All right, CSX lets Pan Am Airways have the C-40 and the B-48s. CSX-8 locomotives. I can't I can't see this one because it's too pixelated. Yeah, back to the
That kicks Dash 8's locomotives out. CSX wiping his hands, and then Dash 8 locomotives. We're back.
Yeah, because you completely because they've completely destroyed all the other ones with precision scheduled railroading. So it's like, hey, what do we have that works? The Dash 8s, the Dash 8s still work. Okay, bring those back up.
Well, I guess CSX had outplayed themselves.
CSX trying to find more power when they can't afford a new locomotive.
Yeah, no, that's just, and it's just sad, and we're just seeing everything just happen. It's a slow motion train wreck that we're alive to see it. So maybe that's something to be proud of.
One day a train is going to derail because that driver passed out.
Oh yeah, it will happen if it already has happened.
It might be a taker train. It might be that Canadian derailment all over again.
Yeah, it already has been happening. I mean, there's been more trail derailments in the last several years. It's been going up. I mean, we had like 2 or 3 recently here in the state of Indiana. I mean, one pretty massive one a little bit eastward of me.
But maybe it was because of that too. Because it was so bad it knocked out a bridge, and UP has to divert on the Iowa Northern.
Right, and the infrastructure failing because you just have a lot of old railroad trackage and right of ways.
They keep the track.
I think the rail ties are actually the problem of these derailments. Our rail ties are made out of wood.
Yeah, there's still a lot of places.
I know this, but I know they're also moving to concrete, and they kind of keep it. They keep that main line pretty well maintained.
Yeah, there's been some places here, at least like some Class 3 and regional railroads that I've seen that's like down in Columbus, that I've seen the railroad ties, like the wooden ties, and you can literally like step on it, and you'll step through the wood because it's just so like termite ridden.
Oh yeah, that thing here.
That's what I call poor maintenance of a Class 2.
Yeah, but that's one part of it.
struggling with maintenance.
Right.
Because the price to even maintain the tracks is so high.
But it's a perfect storm. You have the infrastructure that's falling apart. You have no political will from our own government to do any sort of long, or at least start some sort of long-term. There have been some, but it's been very slow to get to, if not non-existent. And you have a massive amount of a population, a generation that is very NIMBY-minded. So we can't do anything. We have to wait till it falls apart in order to start building back up again. That's it. That's where we're at. We've been trying.
At some point, we might get a Conrail 2.0.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah. That's not gonna happen.
Dude, will you
It's so bad, they will. The government and the government sees how bad it is. They might do it all over again.
We might see an electrification soon. Who knows?
I haven't seen any signs of that here at all.
Dude, were you on the Terminate broadcast on Adam Ellis' YouTube channel?
I'm sorry, what?
Well,
A YouTuber do railroad broadcast every 2 weeks. His YouTube channel called Adam Ellis, and it's Terminate broadcast.
Oh, so okay.
He talked about train stuff. He did a video earlier today.
The mall, what?
The Terminus broadcast. You know where a railroad line in right before another rail line begins? Like at the end of their railroad route?
Yeah, Terminus. I'm trying to.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the YouTube channel so I can try to see what the context is.
No, I can't. Yeah, I can't.
It called the Terminus broadcast. It's not a YouTube channel. It's a video series.
Okay, the Terminus broadcast. Okay. Terminus broadcast. I see the Terminus stream. Yeah, oh man, YouTube. The search has just been awful. Like this.
Yeah, I am not. I'm fighting. I'm just finding football related.
Yeah, like for me, like my third result over here is the terminal list from Prime Video. It's like that's not what I searched. I searched the Terminus broadcast. Did you mean the terminal list? No, I did not mean that.
No. Let me put the link in the group. Hold on.
Go ahead. Oh, man. But
because YouTube is being the D word tonight, you know?
That's every night.
It feels that way. It feels like that. Because you can never actually find. Oh, I hit the whole page, and the one first things I see, Chicago turned into an ocean. Flash floods at Chicago.
Oh, thank goodness! Wait, is Chicago finally flooding? Has the holy deluge finally reached Chicago?
Yeah, the video title is Chicago turns into an ocean. Flash floods hit Chicago. This is the same storm that went through me, but we didn't get any flooding.
Oof.
In fact, it was just rain. So I think when it got to Chicago, it just turned into a downpour.
Yeah, it's like I've given up on Miami ever flooding. Like we've had Irma, we've had everything. It's just like
here's a video.
God has a purpose for Miami for some reason, so we'll just let it go. But Los Angeles, that can fall into the ocean for all I care. You know?
Yeah. Wait. Do you believe? Wait.
Alright, I posted it in group.
Oh, yep. The Terminus podcast.
Yeah. They talk about train, and saying is that they have a Conrail Rail 2, like what we were talking about.
This is interesting. Graham.
Wait, where did you put this in? Okay.
Electric Boogaloo.
Wow, this guy has 191 episodes.
Here's the upside to that Conrail 2.0. Maybe we'll see them actually working with Amtrak, allowing more passenger service.
But yeah, but here, Jane, it took me me a minute to send you guys that. My bad, but that guy been on YouTube since 2012. Like he did a YouTube series with Train with a Z called Zombie Train.
Okay, so he's basically giving a recap of the
Yeah.
Okay, of the rail economy right now and the industry.
Mm-hmm.
All right, no, that's pretty cool.
That makes kind of sense because the rail. I mean, right now they're struggling.
All right, well, I'm gonna give.
He just said tomorrow they're gonna cut a lot of services.
I'm giving him a subscribe and I'm shouting him out, guys. If you have a chance, go ahead and follow here, Admiral Ellis. If I can zoom out of here. This is the problem when you have so many little panels here on OBS and like zooming out of anything is just a pain. But there we go. That's what you go ahead and follow, Admiral Ellis, the Terminus podcast. But that's pretty good because our thing, like, I definitely don't want to be.
We also got a Discord too.
Yeah.
Got a Discord.
All right, well, I'll try to join the Discord, but you guys know me, like I'm barely online half the time.
The U.S. rail industry gives a thumbs up to a new infrastructure law for rail career professionals. Interesting.
Yeah, like here, Jane, these guys they live up in New England. Like the guys that do it, they live up in New England. They get very funny sometimes with what they do. They also do a mini series called Locomotive Versus, where they see what steam engine and they tack up the points to see which one wins.
Hey guys, I see an article.
Yeah,
came out yesterday called. It was titled "U.S. Rail Industry Gives a Thumbs Up to the new infrastructure law."
But yeah.
Is it actually gonna work? Is this not even gonna go through?
But yeah. But I've been following them for a long time now. But yeah. Oh, and also, if I were the government, I would right now start trust busting as much companies as I can. You know?
What?
Trust busting. You know?
Trust busting?
Trust busting, yeah, getting rid of large monopolies, basically.
Yeah, I completely agree with that one. It feels like companies.
I'm trying to. I'm looking here at our chat just to keep up with what.
Well, look who in there. I see Chicago Rail fan.
Oh, Chicago Rail fan is here. Okay. Well, if Chicago floods, we need to save Chicago Rail fan somehow. So he doesn't. He doesn't flood. We're sending you a boat, man. If you need to come down to Indiana, you're the only Chicagoan allowed in Indiana now at this point.
If you want to come over, if you want to head west to a place that is also very quiet and peaceful, we're also open to that.
Yeah. Except you don't want to go to Gary.
You got a hand up.
All right, I got him.
Gotta stand up. Let's get this, man.
You. I was about to say.
Go on.
There we are.
I already have my
about to let you go down for the shit.
You got your boat ready, bud?
Got a yacht? Got a yacht? Some beers?
Oh yeah, have a party on that yacht.
Got some beers too?
I'm gonna go on the Plains River, then to the Mississippi.
He's heading all south and out of here.
You're gonna head to the Atlantic? Head the Atlantic around, head to Florida?
Yeah, it's like, the more south you go, the less taxes you pay, from what I hear.
Oh yeah.
I may just settle in Florida.
Yeah. Everybody's going to Florida at this point.
Hey, if you also want to escape the floods, come on down here where we got good rain, but we didn't flood.
How's it going, man?
Which is odd because that's odd.
It's going alright. A lot of things have changed ever since, past. How do I say this? It's been a while since we've talked to you.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, I'm starting to get things a little bit back into a swing here. So
get back in the groove.
Yeah, and it takes a bit. It's been basically a year or so. I'm starting to get over things. So we're getting there. We're getting there.
Mm-hmm. Now, Dimitri, I'll be on it. on it. Everybody says make stricter gun laws, but I'm just saying that this is stupid because we've seen what it does. Stricter gun laws don't solve the problem.
Right. I mean,
if you can ban the sale of assault rifles, that's all I need.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm not gonna talk too much about it. Again, I try to keep everything rail related.
However,
I've made my point clear on it. But go ahead.
Yeah, but one thing you don't need is an assault rifle to go hunting.
I mean, it's a rifle's a rifle. I'm not gonna.
There's a law that says you can't shoot an entire herd.
Oh,
yeah, that's
assault rifle.
Well, that's just
you could just shoot that an entire herd of deer and.
Well, here's the thing. You're not. No one can shoot an entire herd of deer because once you shoot one, the rest of them are going to be running off. That's the thing. That's the thing. You're not going to be able to shoot off an entire herd of deer. That's one thing.
I've gone hunting.
Yeah. So have I. Here's the thing. That's the other thing you would want to do is start rapidly firing because A, that hurts the animal, and B, it's very bad for like the rest of everybody else that wants to, because you want to have the population to a point that you can still be able to hunt. Which now we have so many deer around in the United States, and because of the suburbanization, they're all over the place.
That's a thing called deer hunt season. There are seasons.
Exactly right. So that we have those seasons established.
And we've actually been told by my state troopers we have an overpopulation of deer.
Exactly.
So if you see one, don't try to swerve because that's more dangerous.
I seen a bunch of them in my house.
You just have to hit it head on.
Yeah, or just like, be careful with that. And when I lived in Columbus, there were deer all over the place, like on the road, especially during the spring. They would just be out all over the place, just there. And I've had to drive around several of them. And if my car hits one, my car is done for. So I just try to be careful.
It doesn't hurt you. It doesn't hurt you.
Yeah, I mean now at least in the state of Indiana they've made it legal now that you can take a deer that's fallen off the road and take the roadkill. But that's thanks. I get some venison for like a month now.
Yeah, especially during and usually when we start taking down our corners when you want to have your brights on because that's when the deer are going to be running.
Yeah, again when it comes to that, the thing is, the problem is that this massive amount of suburban sprawl has done that, right? To the point that deer all over the place, they're not going to like, the humans have moved deer, we have to go ahead and move somewhere else. No, for all they know, they've been there for, whatever, their instinct tells them that, so they're confused, So if they go on the road and, like, they're just looking at you, well, that's the problem, is that you basically moved into their area.
And if that farmer does not want to sell his land, you just save suburbanism from spreading.
Yeah.
As long as the farmers don't sell their land.
Right, and the farmers are getting completely shafted here in the United States. And I've been like looking up like homesteading and that sort of stuff.
Val said hi, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh.
I'm not the show. I'm not part of the train show, but you guys are the best. And you guys spoke about suburban nights and you're a bunch of rats.
That coming from my wife now.
Experience.
Yeah.
I live in the Philippines. I live in the city. That's full of suburban nights, but the good thing is we have a commuter rail.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, I live in a place that's rural, so we don't really have that, so we kind of have to use the car to get around.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. I live in a town. You don't really need a car to get around. You can just ride a bike or walk.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They're
in a rural / city, but it's more of a suburb. But I'm still.
There are older towns that places like that, like the ones that have like the small little main streets and stuff like that. But they're not that overly populated. But you don't even need a car to get around because you can just get up and walk around the town and get stuff that you need. Now, that's the thing. And when a lot of those.
The hard part is also town design.
Yeah, because Columbus, Indiana, which basically mimics a lot of other places, used to be similar like that, where you had like basically the town structure was a several like 10 blocks around where people just lived around the area, and then like right outside of it is rural area, which is still a very rural area right outside of that. But what's happened is that you start to have like these mega corporations, like let's say a Walmart comes in, and they'll be somewhere outside the city. Now what happens is this is a true thing that the Walmarts do. They will go ahead and take down the prices of everything to basically price dump every other product that every other local place sells there, so those local places go out of business, and people are going to just go to the Walmart anyway because the stuff is cheaper. So now they've just completely they've completely gotten rid of all the local companies and have established themselves with this giant, sea of concrete out there, and that's basically what turns into every town. So you have these stroads that have these plazas all over the place. Like you'll have the Walmart, you'll have the Kroger, you'll have the Chinese restaurant, the nail place, and your other assorted areas, your Wendy's, your McDonald's, your slop, basically.
Here you got a different kind of story.
Walmart, man. I'll be honest.
We've got a thing called bad planning. They've put mostly all their commercial in one area.
Yeah.
So everybody in my entire city just goes this area, and on the weekend, that road is so packed you avoid it at all costs.
Right, and that's the problem with the coding. The zoning laws have it that you can only have one thing in one place, so you don't have any mixed infrastructure, which it's done on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got a few stores that are scattered throughout the area, but there are so few. But you're mostly like a Menards, Home Depot, clothing stores are all on one side of town.
Yeah, that's an issue. That is every place.
And there's a Costco that's going up on the northeast side of town that should bring people away from there, but it's kind of on the same side of town as everything else.
Right, and it's the same thing. Like all these places, they'll have like the Menards and the Sam's Club all in this one zoning area for the corporate zoning, basically, and it just completely offsets the same of the town. Like I was just looking at the town you were talking about, Mitchell, or James Island, right? Let me see if I can just bring that up again on Google Maps. I just caught this off like the edge of my eye. On James Island, there's basically the same sort of thing where you have like a Publix and everything else, but it's like all like outside in this one area of town. So then, here we are. So there's a Walmart Supercenter, and it's all in this one road. This is basically every single place in America. Everything is off on one road, and just that's your town center basically. You don't have.
I've been to that Walmart multiple times. Like I've been there, and thing is that it's terrible. Like, and thing I work at a Walmart. I work at a Walmart right in West Ashley, about 20 minutes.
And I work in a small. There's this grocery store that maybe y'all have never heard of. It's called Fairway. They're like a really small store, but they're very popular. They target the small towns and their big cities a little bit, but their main focus are small towns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and small town go-to store.
These are basically like the only people that can walk to the store. So like again, this is very rare to find that you have.
You can drive there, but you can bike there. It's like a quick grab and go.
Yeah, but again, if you look at this isn't really conducive to like walking over. So it's like you see this, like there's a Dollar Tree over here, and maybe people who live over in this area, this retreat of Riverland or whatever, they can kind of walk around and get over there. I mean, it looks like they have to jump a fence or something.
The point of those small town stores, that are small, their point is just like a quick grab something, or to help supply small town.
Right, but let's say you live you live a mile off, like you live over here. Well, you have to get a car in order to go ahead and get groceries.
Where?
Right.
Oh.
Why am I?
Oh, you cut out for him.
Oh, the Taco Bell thing?
Oh, that was me.
All right. Anyway, so we're approaching. It's 9:39. It's going to be 10 o'clock in about 20 minutes. I think we can probably start wrapping it up so we can have everything in there.
Yeah.
But
Say, though,
any last points you guys want to bring up?
Yeah, Chicago's kind of funky when it comes to this stuff. Like, there's a bunch of, like, dense development, but it's all abandoned. Like, most of the roads have become stroads, whether it be, like, 2-lane or 4 lanes. But you can tell, like, there's, like, a bunch of businesses around there, but most of them are just, like, places that people never go to. Like, most of them are just, like, travel agency offices, politician offices, or they're just plain out abandoned, so it's pretty weird. And then there's a bunch of places, like, some of those spaces have been turned into, like, you know, your kind of typical suburban places, like this restaurant with a big parking lot and a drive-through. Like, literally my work is one of those, although it's more of like has a 90s style to it, so it's not really new.
Excuse me. Have you been to a neighborhood? You've been to a neighborhood like Lincoln Park in Chicago?
It's been a while since I've been there. I don't really go there.
Yeah, but the parks there, right? Y'all are cut.
Oh, Valid speaking, my bad.
Y'all are cut. I mean, y'all are muted. I don't.
Oh, they're not muted.
Yeah, we're still here, I think.
Alright. I'll be honest. All the Democracy, and I'll bring up what I was talking to you earlier. When they do build the new rail line and the container terminal, a lot of people are going to lose their houses, and I mean a lot.
And then once there's a house there, you cannot build there. You do not build on someone's property.
It's called eminent domain.
And that is really sad. Because eminent domain ruins it.
Well, the area I'm talking about is a car-infested suburb, you know? Like, the area that me and Dimitri are talking about is pretty bad, and I've been to the area
The thing,
in real life.
and I understand the whole thing about eminent domain. Eminent domain is very much a double-edged sword, okay? And of course, yeah, when you're on the cutting edge of it, the edge is coming after you. Yeah, it sucks. But the thing is that a lot of those bad, like what happened with Texas, right? Texas Central Railway was trying to say that we can use eminent domain. We're a railroad. Look, we're trying. We cannot build this railroad. We cannot build this rail line without using eminent domain, because a lot of these farmers or basically the oil companies who are basically pushing them not to sell their land for, you know, the obscene prices that Texas Central Railway is trying to buy them for, you know, twice over the limit. They're pushing them not to go ahead and sell their land. They're saying, look, they're making it impossible. Can you please let us use this? We are a railroad. And it took how many years for the Texas the Texas state to go ahead and say, yes, they're a railroad, they can use eminent domain, to the point that now the board of Texas Central Railroad has basically depleted because the company has taken so long to actually make a turnover and start getting the business running. So that's the problem with that.
I don't think that would be getting off the ground. I think it's going to go right back to dust.
It most likely is. I mean, that's why, you know, people got upset when Ruben put out on the Facebook that he said that Texas Central is dead. And look, it's upsetting, but it's you know, don't shoot the messenger. We've been saying this for a while. It's like, you know, you're putting this company in legal limbo. They not only have the technology available, they have the funding available from the Japanese companies that have the technology and have been giving them, you know, billions of dollars.
Japan's trying to help the U.S.
Yeah.
They're trying to get stuff started like they did. They see that the U.S. is struggling. They're trying to get something jump-started.
Right, but
they want to jump-start something.
Yeah, because it benefits both. It benefits both the Japanese and it benefits America, right? So when you have a relationship that's beneficial both ways, that's perfectly fine. Okay, if it benefits both the Japanese people and it benefits us, that's perfect. That's great. That's what should happen. That's a good relationship. However, when it only benefits one party, or if it benefits a group of people who aren't even connected, like you'll have foreign investors like from China or whatever that keep buying a whole bunch of land in the United States, it's not helping people. You know, it's not helping. It's only helping their elite.
That's how China stop it.
Right, I mean, look, and honestly, that should have been a thing, that foreign investment into land, like, you shouldn't be able to buy a house or any sort of real estate unless you're an American citizen. And I would go further and say unless you're a state citizen in that state can you buy land in that state. And no, an LLC is not that. I would go that far.
My dad's real there. There are people who, you see, heard of this thing called snowbirds?
Yeah.
There are people who own a house in 2 different states.
Yeah, that's again, I think that's wrong.
But I completely get that too. These are people who don't want to deal with the cold.
Then just move to one place if you can't. Instead of going back and forth because what happens is now you're again it brings up the housing market and it goes to the same thing like I said earlier. You're using houses as just some sort of investment.
Those houses stay in their ownership.
Yeah, and look, it's like there's obviously like a limit. It's like, you know, if somebody wants to own like 2 or 3 houses,
summer, those same people who are snowbirds will my head can't get the company. Will rent it out to people to use it.
Right. There's been some people that have done that, but that's not. You don't have timeshares in every snowbird house. I mean, when my dad first moved over from New York to Florida, he did stay like at a snowbird's house there. That's how he like sort of got his start. But like they basically said, oh yeah, just go there and just like watch the house and we'll pay you to do that. You don't really have that happen anymore with a lot of places, or you'll just have people like now the big thing has been, it used to be before the pandemic started that like the whole big push was like, oh yeah, go ahead and buy a whole bunch of houses, buy a whole bunch of stuff and Airbnb them out. You know, that was the thing.
That's what my dad wants to do. My dad wants to buy houses, Airbnb them out.
Right.
Airbnb, it's like, well, you sure about that? Because those can go to people who need them. My dad being the realtor, he gets a good pay. He sells houses. He gets houses.
Right.
Them.
And that's how that market keeps inflating. That's why the price of houses have basically skyrocketed at this point.
But it's not really a thing. It's more of because it's just it's the U.S. government raising the interest rate. Interest rates go up, houses go up.
Yeah, that all feeds into each other.
My dad has to deal with that.
That's so true.
Yeah, well, we're all.
Realtors don't control the house prices.
Yeah.
Interest does.
Yeah, realtors, and I've worked with realtors because I used to do marketing for realtors and real estate agents. They're just in the middle. They're just the tool being used for they're not like like the BlackRock investors that are putting trillions of dollars into buying up a whole bunch of properties and getting it up, because a lot of these properties for the last several years.
Okay. My dad just overheard what that said. They said, what was it? It is.
What?
Realtors set the price. They bring the examples. Interest rate apparently does not. I just learned a new thing today.
Right, yeah, it's more of a market set price, but again, that market set price can go up, and the thing is, like, what's happened now that you have, like, let's say, like, these large investment firms, whether it's BlackRock, whether it's Vanguard, or the stuff, or all these other, like, capital, like, I'm pretty sure Dianne Feinstein is very much on the board at Blum Capital still, and all these other folks in Congress and all that they still have, very much into these investment firms, and that's why, you think that they're making only whatever the income it is for a senator, what, $200,000 or $140,000 a year? No, please, they're all millionaires and billionaires. But the thing is that like even Bernie Sanders, like supposedly the poorest senator there, has 3 houses or so, and he's worth several millions of dollars. The point is that. You have somebody, let's say, someone who's in their late 20s, early 30s, going to try to buy a home for the first time. Well, now the housing market has gone up to, like, where these houses are now in the upper 200s or 300s for a 2 or 3 bedroom. In order to go ahead and compete with the bids and to put, like, maybe he can make a down payment of maybe $25,000, which anybody is probably not going to be able to say, raise your hand if you have $25,000 saved in the bank. I very much doubt it. Especially when 90% of Americans don't even have $300 saved in the bank. So forget that. And then the thing is that you're.
going with a tiny house.
Yeah, let me just real quickly finish. You're getting outbid by people who are going to put cash down for like a $300,000 house. They will put cash down $350,000. They just outright buy that house. So that just keeps the market going in this vicious cycle of just pushing up the prices, because if you have investment firms that can go ahead and buy houses outright, cash down, just put money down for the whole price of the house plus maybe a 10% on top of that. There you go, and plus the brokerage fees on top, they'll pay it right there and there and done. That's it. That's the problem. You can't have. When you have that happen, it's going to drive the price up. You price out normal people out of the market to own a home.
I'll be honest, this is why I bought a tiny house. Technically, it is shed right now, but we're supposed to be converting it into a tiny house.
Yeah, and it's just sad that like our whole generation is either thinking of, oh, let's go live in the woods, or let's go make a tiny house out of
that our generation afford to buy sheds to convert them into tiny houses.
Yeah, we're gonna be. Where's the I gotta. What's the movie? Ready Player One. The trailers on top of each other.
So I was like, wait, why? What happened to the houses?
The stacks. There we go. Yeah.
What happened to the
Shipping
houses?
containers they call houses.
Well, actually, I mean, there are things. That is a thing now.
And I forget. Well, at that point, then we'll have high density. That's what they want for high density houses for us. So when we ask like for sustainable high density houses, this is what our rulers will give us. Our gracious rulers will give us this. Instead of, like we had before, like flats and townhouses in places like in Baltimore, like in a whole bunch of places in the United States. So you looked in the 1940s and 30s and 20s and the 50s even, you still had places like that where you had neighborhoods and people could walk out and play or do things and stuff like that, and there was no big deal. Now this is where we're heading to.
These are just made of containers.
Yeah, basically, and just so in the movie, yeah, if you
that's not even gonna work. It's here we all know from the ratio. Buildings being new, we learned most buildings cannot withstand 100-mile-per-hour wind. Containers would just fall over like dominoes.
Oh, I mean, look at Brazil, look the favelas. That's what they got.
But they're built right by the mountainside, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Here, because of the flat land, those come down like dominoes. You're lucky to live.
Also, not to mention those are dangerous in another aspect.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. And again, that's the thing. When you start breaking, Brazil's got its problems. Okay, that's another thing. America's pretty bad, but America is heading to Brazil tier pretty quickly.
America does what America does.
Yeah.
America does what America does.
But that's the thing.
We need to tell Brazil to stop burning down the forest.
Yeah, and again, it's about the sort of balance, right? It's like you want to have higher density, but you don't want it to look like this, because this is just awful. We have better examples, right?
If you have an old downtown, bring it back to life.
We used to have an old downtown here in Ravenel. Now it's all gone. All we got is a food line and a town hall with a courthouse built in. That all we have, and everything that a commercial is right by this food line, right here where I live in Ravenel.
In Ames, they have an old downtown that they're continuously making it look nicer, and it's just a pleasant looking downtown. And I make myself think to myself, why don't we bring back that style of building? There was blocks for certain buildings.
It was illegal now. It's because everything is illegal. Like building that type of stuff is illegal now because they have everything zoned for single family use, and then the area that they have zoned for.
If they change that, I would bring back that old style of building.
All right.
For old downtowns, because that makes it look nice and look at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting there. Let me just put like one last thing over here. So this is where I stayed in Japan. Is a place in Tokyo called Kamata, and here's the station. You have a big station over here. There's a train. You still have cars, but look, you have people walking. You have large sidewalks. You have mixed density units. Okay, so you have like here. Now, of course, Japan is different from the United States, and what works for Japan works for Japan. What works for the United States doesn't work for works for everybody. But look at these massive wide sidewalks that you have over there. You have places for like the bus stations over there, and you have the train stations. People can go ahead and if you want a car, but you have like apartment buildings that are on the top. You have stores and places over there. So that's all right nearby. And if I expand a little bit, let me see if I can show you like where a little bit closer if I can find it. Trying to go over here. Okay, let me see. There we are. Boom. Okay, so it was around over here where I was saying. Yeah, this was around over here. Okay. Yeah, that's the hotel was over there. But anyway, look, these are roads that you can have. They're mixed roads, so you have to go slow on these roads, but people can walk over here. You have cars that go nearby, but they go very slow. And there's like a family mart, which is basically like a 7-Eleven. There's the car over there. So like, let's say if you live over here, you can just walk down, go to the store, boom. Or if you live somewhere around the area, there's several others around, and that makes sense. Okay, so that's why Japan is. They say there's the number of reasons, but you look at Tokyo. Not only is it's the largest megapolis in the United States, in the world, but it's the safest. I have never, in my entire life, I have never felt that I can go to a place and not have my head on a swivel, or checking to see if I still have my wallet. Okay, it was just wow. So these people have, again, Japan has its problems, but still, this is a much more conducive environment that you don't have to worry about so many other things. They have a lot of other things to worry about, but you don't have to worry about the basics. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like you don't want to make it like, but places like Europe are very much like that, where you have buildings very much close to one another, and places like that. This is very similar to what Europe is. It's like, it's not just a thing that people think, oh, that's just for Asian people. No, you go to like places like in Madrid or in Belgium and stuff like that, or the Netherlands too. It's very similar to this. Very similar.
It's very compact.
Yeah.
And that could happen. Well, I think it's 10 o'clock now.
Yeah. But we can look at other stuff like that. 9:57. Yeah. But I'm on I'm at the edge of the time zone here, and then Indiana.
Maybe it's a little edge of America.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because you go down south to Kentucky and it's Central Time, but you go, there's the corners here of Indiana, whether you go to South Bend or down south west, and you're in Central Time.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. We're going to be in Central Time because it's next to Chicago.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Honestly, I wonder if we could try that sort of building style in Tokyo, especially in places that are in downtown. If you've got a big downtown, that would work.
Right, and again, it doesn't mean that you have to go ahead and start building karaoke places in a Midwestern downtown. Okay, nobody is saying that, or start dressing like in a maid costume or something like that. But it's just saying this, like, look, there are things that you can do that you can, and again, it's not something that's completely alien to us. We've done this before. You look at older pictures, like that old picture of Detroit or that old picture of New York that we put on there. It looked like that. It was very much like that. You had people walking all over the place, and you had streetcars, you had rail transportation, you still had cars all over the place, plenty of cars. Okay, so
not everybody didn't really use the car at that point in time.
No, you still had plenty, but it was like you didn't need to get a car. That was the thing. You didn't need to. You had a massive amount of streetcar systems all across the U.S.
Now let's not copy and paste this in the U.S. completely.
No, let's
add a little America to that one.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. We've had that. Let me see if I can find that old picture of Detroit. But it was like at the end of the Little Dark, which I finally got back on YouTube. By the way, I finally was able to get that copyright strike taken off of Little Dark Age of American Infrastructure. But that's the thing is, I'll just bring up that video so I can just find it.
By the way, Dimitri, did you update the videos some, or is it fully the same?
It's the same exact thing. Same exact thing. I did not update or change absolutely anything. It's the same exact thing. But let me just go ahead and bring up the picture. There we go. Let's put it right over here. And there we go. There we go. That was America. We had that thing. That's for us. Which I like this aesthetic better, honestly. I like that. I'm not so much of like the modernist aesthetic that took it. Look, it's cool. You can put on your Blade Runner soundtrack and walk through the city, and it will sound cool. Or your Ghost in the Shell soundtrack. But I like Americana style. Okay, I like this. I like this the neo-Gothic architecture. This sort of stuff. The Art Deco stuff. That we can make that. We can make that happen again. We can make American infrastructure great again.
Yes, we can.
We can make American transit great again.
Yes.
By the way, the Cargo Rail thing got kicked out of the Discord again, so we might.
It's all right, but it's okay. We're starting to close off. But I think. Yeah, we're wrapping up, and we'll leave everybody who's listening and still here. That's we still have hope. We've done it before. We can do it again. Hold on tight, okay? Ride the tiger, because the next couple of years, years. It's going to be years. It's going to be rough, but we will get there. If it's not for us, for our children, let's not do the same mistakes that the boomer generation had. We can beat on them all we want, but at the very minimum, learn from those mistakes so we don't make the same ones again. We cannot be selfish.
We have to learn from our mistakes.
Exactly.
Everybody makes mistakes in history. And you just learn from them.
Yep, and that's...
We cannot let history repeat itself.
Exactly. Alright, guys. All right. That's where we'll end it here. So we'll go ahead and I think we'll cut it off over here. But thank you guys for joining on board. And, again... this is history that we've gone through, and 21 years ago, that's the thing. We have to, you can't just let history be history. We have to learn from it.
Like, I'll be honest, I came in like a Chad, and I'm going out like a Chad.
Do the Chad walkout, man. See ya.
Alright. The memes that I pulled tonight and the joke.
Yeah, it was good, man. We gotta give, and it's good that you got your own show, man. But we gotta give you like a segment on like the American Rail Club or something like this, so we can start building that out.
He's got his own show now?
Yeah.
Well, David's got his own channel, yeah.
Yeah, I run it on my own YouTube channel called Fans of Train. Like, I did a live stream yesterday. But yeah. If you want to go over there, I can put the link to my YouTube channel.
I think I just found it.
Alright. Okay. Anyway, guys. Let's start like closing this up. So, everyone, take care. Thank you all for coming on board.
Alright, everyone.
Thank you. There we are.
Like a chat.
See ya.
Godspeed, everybody. Okay, so that's the end for our stream, everybody, tonight, folks. Thank you all for joining on in of this Ark Lounge live stream. We will see you all next time. Godspeed.